Good Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for joining us on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Lauren Lemanchek. Taking a live look now from Capitol Hill, where there's a light at the end of the government shutdown tunnel. Overnight, the Senate passed a deal sending it to the Republican-controlled House of Representatives. They could vote on that deal as soon as tomorrow. It would fund the government through the end of January. Now, there are no promises inside that deal of extending subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, the biggest sticking point in this bill. Senate leadership did, however, commit to a vote on extending those subsidies next month. House Republicans can only afford to lose 2 votes, with most Democrats opposed to the deal. President Trump says if it makes it to his desk, he will sign it. Happening today, the Supreme Court is set to decide whether full SNAP payments should be on hold until the government reopens. Lower courts have ordered the government to keep that money flowing. But in a warning over the weekend, the USDA told states that are still sending out payments to stop immediately and then take back the money they've sent. A group of attorneys general, including Minnesota's Keith Ellison, is now suing the federal government so states can keep sending out SNAP payments. As Congress looks to finalize a deal to reopen the government, the impact of the longest shutdown in our nation's history is just beginning to be understood. Uncertainty over SNAP benefits is leading to a surge in demand for Meals on Wheels, and as Ken Erdahl reports, that demand's not likely to subside anytime soon.
When Minnesota seniors are in need of a meal, Meals on Wheels delivers. But in recent weeks,
we had a 75% increase in requests for our services.
Most citing the loss of SNAP benefits as a major driver.
They only had a few dollars in the bank and they weren't sure where their next meal was going to come from.
Christine Stensberg has personally taken many of those requests.
They're stressed. They're fearful on how to have a nutritious meal, and a lot of people are unable to get to food pantries.
Have you had to turn people away?
Right now, we have some waiting lists, so we're trying to help those programs meet that need.
That's where we come in.
Phil Schmidt is an aging services specialist for St. Paul's Keystone Community Services, and the need for meals isn't the only thing he's seen increase.
It could be housing, it could be food, it could be finding somebody a bed.
And in some cases, the people he and the other drivers are delivering to are younger than you might expect.
Hi, Ricky. Hey, it's Phil from Keystone. How you doing?
Ricky Galley qualified for meals after extreme hypertension and blood clots kept her from working.
That was huge because some days I can't even get on the bus to go to the food shelf.
Though with 2 teens to also feed, she was more than relieved to see her SNAP benefits finally return this morning.
That eases the fear and the feeling of being alone for a lot of people. There was real panic.
While that panic may finally begin to fall, all you have to do is look at Meals on Wheels requests in the months prior to October to understand why demand isn't likely to fall much, if at all.
Everybody's struggling, even the employed.
With the rising food costs, with the economic uncertainty, we are expecting the demand to continue to increase, as well as the population switch. There's more and more older adults, so we are gearing up to have more demand.
See you soon. Okay. Food is sort of a barometer for other things. It's basic. It's like air.
It's not just people caught in the middle of the SNAP benefits chaos. Some rural and locally owned grocery stores with thin profit margins are dealing with less traffic because customers are not coming into their shops if they don't get their SNAP benefits. Jordan Cook says SNAP recipients make up 10% of his sales at the store, some 60 miles west of the cities. That's where federal data shows nearly 2,000 people use SNAP in McLeod County alone.
We're just kind of curious of how that would affect our business, since, a lot of people do rely on those kind of benefits. We know most of our customers by name and, kind of what they're going through. And if they need help, they know that we are always here to help them out.
According to the University of Minnesota, there are only 250 rural grocery stores across the state, and half are concerned about closing as sales slump. Now they're at risk of losing customers who use SNAP as well. Another day of misery is expected today at airports nationwide. The FAA is expanding its mandate, now canceling 6% of daily flights because of the ongoing staffing shortages caused by the government shutdown. At MSP, more than 40 flights into and out of the airport have been axed today, mostly smaller airlines. NBC's Tom Costello covers aviation, and he's at Reagan National with the latest on the impact nationwide.
Good day. So here we go again, right? We had 4% of flights canceled yesterday. That was an FAA directive trying to relieve some of the stress on air traffic controllers, given the staffing shortage and given the fact that they've now worked without 2 paychecks. Today, rather than a 4% cancellation rate, the FAA is imposing a 6% cancellation rate. And by the end of the week, that's expected to go to 10%. The question is, what's going to happen come a week from now, when we're right into the beginning of the Thanksgiving travel rush? The FAA is warning we could be down to a trickle of flights. Obviously, part of that also, as we are watching to see whether the government shutdown is completely over and all of these controllers and TSA officers are back on the job by then. They've already missed 2 paychecks each. The most affected airports today, we've got already curtailed flights at 40 of the biggest airports, and right now that includes Chicago O'Hare, Atlanta, LaGuardia, Denver, Boston, DFW, Phoenix, San Francisco, Newark, Houston, Seattle, Charlotte. Those are in the top. In addition, 12 airports have now canceled general aviation or private aviation flights because of the shutdown and because of the impact with the staffing shortages nationwide. The Air Traffic Controllers Union making the point, we are still short some 3,800 controllers going into the shutdown. That was the state of things before the shutdown. So now with the shutdown, it's only gotten worse. The stress has only gotten worse with controllers, some controllers taking second jobs, getting out of the tower and then at night driving for Uber or DoorDash, simply trying to put food on the table. So this is very much crunch time for the nation's air traffic controllers, who are making sure that we all fly safely, and for the TSA officers making sure that our plane is safe as well. We'll watch it all throughout the day. I'm Tom Costello here at Reagan Airport. Back to you.
New today, several law enforcement agencies are hiring an outside agency to review their response to the deadly shootings of House Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman, her husband Mark, their dog Gilbert, and State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette. This is video from the initial investigation of those shootings. Agencies involved in that initial response back in June are asking the International Chiefs of Police Association to evaluate the effort and to highlight learning and growth opportunities. Agency leadership says the process is meant to reflect on Minnesota's response, but also provide insight that could benefit law enforcement nationwide. It's Veterans Day, and as we take time to honor those who've served in the U.S. military, the nation is taking a step back. So here's what is open and closed today. Government offices, post offices, and most banks will be closed. However, most UPS and FedEx services will be available. Most grocery stores are open, as well as malls, restaurants, and retailers like Walmart and Target. If it's trash day for you, Minneapolis and St. Paul say there will be no change in the schedule. Starting tomorrow, the Minneapolis Federation of Educators is expected to hold a ratification vote on a tentative deal with the school district. If the union passes it, the school board also needs to approve the deal. Heidi Wigdahl shows us what's inside.
After months on opposite sides, Minneapolis Public Schools and the union, the Minneapolis Federation of Educators, are standing alongside one another.
I am exhausted, and yet I'm invigorated by what we have seen in this building in the last week.
Today we can say that collaboration won out over confrontation.
The deal covers 3 different contracts for teachers, educational support professionals, and adult educators. It includes smaller class sizes. No middle or high schools will have more than 38 students in a classroom. Special education is getting more support with smaller caseloads. And pay increases are coming across all 3 contracts. For example, those who help adult students will earn the same as their colleagues, meaning some will see a pay increase of more than 30%. MPS teachers are getting a 2% raise this year and another 2% increase in the next school year. The agreement also allows teachers to reach the top of their salary faster.
We will start breaking the past practices of being adversarial toward one another and building better relationships.
But it comes at a time when the district's 2026 to 2027 budget includes a $25 million deficit.
We were just really honest with our negotiators, and we showed them our 5-year projection. This is what we have, and these are the resources that we have that are available. And I am so thankful that you all were responsive, and this is where that trust comes in.
Stick with us. There's more news and weather coming up after the break.